Good evening. Thank you for being here tonight. I'd like to officially call this Marin Council meeting on February 28th, 2022 to order. For the record, Councilmember Marcelo Zapata has an excused absence tonight. At this time, I would like to call Dory Griggs, the City of Roswell Fire Department chaplain, forward for the invocation and moment of silence.
Please join me.
Use the microphone. We can't hear you.
I believe the mic is in here.
Use the mic.
Holy One, we ask your blessings on the people here who have been called to lead the city of Roswell. Help them to listen to community concerns and respond to the concerns thoughtfully. As we celebrate the life-saving work of two of our firefighters, Captain Jack Allen and firefighter John Stansel, we also ask you to watch over all our first responders, fire, police, and 911 communications personnel. Keep them safe in their work as they protect our residents. Keep us mindful of the great work they do and help us all show our appreciation. We celebrate the successes of the Roswell High School band boosters tonight and ask your protection over all the members of the Booster Club and the band members. Help us show our appreciation for all who serve our community, our state, and our country. We ask special blessings on the members of our military, our veterans, and their families. Be with the members of our community. Guide us all in our words that they may be constructive, in our deeds that we may be productive for the good of the city. We pray in the name of all we hold sacred and holy. Amen.
Amen. I would like to especially congratulate Chaplain Dory Griggs on 5 years with the Roswell Fire Department. Thank you, Chaplain. At this time, I would like to call Elwin Gassert to lead us in the pledge.
Thank you, Mayor Wilson and Council, and thank you so much to our first responders and my good friend Booker T. Knuckles, who's also shares this evening. Please join with me in the Pledge of Allegiance to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Elwin. Next is the mayor's report, and the very first item on the mayor's report is the Esteemed Veteran of Roswell Award to Booker T. Knuckles. So at this time, I would like to ask Mr. Knuckles to join me at the front podium. Thank you, sir. Proclamation of the Office of the Mayor. Booker T. Knuckles, Esteemed Veteran of Roswell. Whereas Booker T. Knuckles, upon receiving his draft notice on January 15, 1970, enlisted in the United States Air Force the very next day. He received his basic training at Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio, Texas, and then was transferred to Lowry Air Force Base in Denver, Colorado. He achieved the rank of Airman Basic and was trained as a weapons mechanic. His duties included loading bombs onto aircraft and was certified in the two-man concept for nuclear weapons. And whereas Booker T. Knuckles' first permanent duty station was at South Carolina Air Force Base in Myrtle Beach, where he was a weapons mechanic and missile launcher, his second assignment was at the Naval Air Station, Pensacola, Florida, where he was involved in loading armaments for C-130 gunships. He was then deployed to Ubon, Thailand, and responsible for weapons for the C-130 gunships utilized in the Vietnam War. Ultimately, his last deployment and his final assignment was at England Air Force Base in Alexandria, Louisiana, where he was part of the A-7's weapons support team And whereas Booker T. Knuckles was honorably discharged from active duty on December 21st, 1973, with the rank of E4 and joined the Air Force Reserves at Dobbins Air Force Base, Atlanta, from 1973 to 1974, where he continued aircraft support duties. He honorably received the Distinguished Service Award and the Republic of Vietnam Campaign Award. And whereas the Knuckles family has served our country for generations, Uncle Alex Knuckles fought in World War II, and upon his return, became the first black scoutmaster in Georgia. Booker T. Knuckles shares a long line of military service along with his brothers, all who served in Vietnam. Booker T. Knuckles was a member of the VFW in Roswell and currently a member of the VFW in Alpharetta, Georgia. And whereas we remember that the strength of our community and nation is in our collective bond to a spirit of service, and that there is no higher calling than those who have served in the United States Armed Forces, and the city of Roswell is proud to commemorate this great service of yours. Now, therefore, I, Kurt Wilson, Mayor of the city of Roswell, do hereby name Sergeant Booker T. Knuckles an esteemed veteran of Roswell on February 28, 2022, and call upon our citizens to recognize his outstanding service to his country and our community. Would you like to say a few words, Mr. Knuckles?
First, I would like to say thank you to all of you all because for so long, so many Vietnam veterans never got any recognition for the service that they gave for this country. And so many of them came back with wounds that were invisible and that they may never get over. I'd also like to recognize two other Vietnam veterans in the House, my older brother and Mr. Charles Grogan, who are also Vietnam veterans, who started our lives in the city. I would like to thank all of my church members, my family, and friends that showed up for this recognition. And I am just happy to say that I am a very, very proud citizen of Roswell. And I love Roswell. And I hope that all of you all love Roswell.
Thank you, sir. Let's get a picture with you. I know everybody wants to get one with you. The first one is you and I, and this is your proclamation, sir. Council, come join us. Okay, how about the family? Would the family like to join the picture with Mr. Knuckles? Good to me. Okay. Council, come on down for this picture. Sorry, my bad. Sorry. Come on in, sir. Come in, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your service. Thank you, Mr. Knuckles. Thank you. Thank you, sir. For item number 2 on the mayor's report, I would like to call Fire Chief Panino forward for the Valor Award, forgive me.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Mr. Knighton, good evening. As Fire Chief and command staff, highlighting the achievements of our team members is one of the most rewarding things that we get to do. With me tonight is Captain Jack Allen and firefighter John Stansel. I would like to call them up. I told them to sit closer. So this event actually happened some time ago, but I had the opportunity recently within this last month to go down to Atlanta where these gentlemen were recognized by the Georgia State Firefighters Association. Shortly after midnight on June 23rd, 2020, the Roswell Police and Fire Departments were dispatched to the Barrington Farms subdivision for reported structure fire. Roswell 911 communications officers reported that there was a resident and his dog still trapped in the basement of the house. The police department arrived on scene first to find a two-story house with flames coming from the first floor and through the roof. They were unable to get near the structure due to the amount of fire and intense heat. Heat that was so severe, actually, that one of our fire trucks sustained damage from being parked on the street in front of the house. Captain Jack Allen and firefighter John Stansel arrived shortly thereafter. They quickly exited from truck 24 and fearlessly, without hesitation, entered the basement where they located the male resident. Captain Allen and firefighter Stansel carried the resident to safety, away from the burning structure to a neighboring driveway where he was cared for by waiting medical personnel. If not for the swift and courageous actions taken by Captain Allen and firefighter Stansel, the resident and his dog would have surely perished. This act of bravery and heroism displayed by Captain Allen and firefighter Stansel, which involved risking their own personal safety to save the life of a Roswell resident, should be commended. For this reason, Captain Allen and firefighter Stansel were recently awarded the 2021 Georgia State Firefighters Association Life-Saving Valor Award and received accommodation by Georgia Governor Brian Kemp. And Mayor Wilson, if you would, I'll have you read that commendation.
Thank you, Chief. By the Governor of the State of Georgia, Accommodation. Whereas each year the Georgia State Firefighters Association acknowledges outstanding acts of service with a Life-Saving Valor Award. And whereas on June 23rd, 2020, the Roswell Fire Department was dispatched to a fully involved structure fire where a male subject was still trapped in the basement of the residence. And whereas Captain Jack Allen and firefighter John Stansel were among the first to arrive on scene. And whereas Captain Jack Allen and firefighter John Stansel quickly departed truck 24 and fearlessly, without hesitation, entered the basement where they located the male subject inside. And whereas Captain Jack Allen and firefighter John Stansel carried the subject and his dog to safety from the basement to the driveway of the residence next door, where he was treated by waiting medical personnel. Now, therefore, I, Brian Kemp, Governor of the State of Georgia, do hereby commend Captain Jack Allen and firefighter John Stansel. Council, come join us, please. Thank you, Chief. Thank you, gentlemen. Outstanding.
Mayor, can we get a picture with the family?
Family, please. Sorry. No, thank you.
I forgot.
Council, might as well come on down.
Where are they?
Outstanding. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 3 on the mayor's report is the presentation of the Roswell High School Band Booster Association. And so at this time, I'd like to please call forward Craig Bond from the Roswell High School Band Booster Association.
So this seems a lot less important than other things that are going on. 20 years ago, almost to the day, the Roswell Fire Department came to my house and helped deliver my daughter, who was born in my bathroom. So I appreciate the fire department very much, and also all the veterans. So I thank you very much for that. This is obviously not as big of a deal, but I do appreciate the time very much. So here's why I'm here. I'm Craig. I've been the VP in the band now for 6 years. Was when that 20-year-old was started as a freshman, and now I've got another freshman this year, so I got 3 more years. I'll have like 9 total years in the band before it's all said and done. So my job is basically logistics, getting stuff done, taking it where it needs to go, building those goofy things you see on the field during the football games that go along with the band, and making sure all their stuff is out there and in the right place. So that's my job, and I just appreciate the opportunity to tell you guys about some of our needs and what we've done to kind of work with that. So we're doing our fundraiser, which is musicians acting responsibly with compassion and hard work. So that's our idea of doing things differently than some of the fundraisers in the past, where we don't sell junk that really nobody wants, and you really only get about 40% of that money anyway. So you buy, something that goes in our drawer or in the trash can for $20, and we get, about $8 of it. And anyway, it's all that stuff. But this teaches the kids a little more than just going door to door and selling things. It teaches them how to do hard work and be responsible and be a part of the community. Satisfies all those things. But the hard part about that is just getting the word out to get the funds in. They're working an 8-hour day and hoping to get, I think we've asked them all to try to get $10 an hour for whatever you can get from your neighbors, your friends, and your family. So we have the band itself. We have 2 band directors at Roswell High School. There's 105 students right now, and we're hoping to grow. It's been down because of COVID, just like everything else. We've had our issues with that. It's hard to do band through Zoom calls, but they did their best, and so we're down a little bit in numbers, which also makes it harder to raise money. Last year was a really hard year to raise any money because you couldn't go door to door, and you definitely couldn't just go around asking folks for money. So that's where we're at. We're a nonprofit organization. We have a lot of different parts of band. There's the 3 classroom bands, marching band, there's color guard, there's indoor drum line, which is going on right now. It's where they march around in a gymnasium, basically just a percussion area. We just had a competition last week and got 3rd place. Okay, so we've talked about March, the fundraiser, the idea of what we're doing, the idea that it's not just selling stuff. We're trying to create this idea where we raise most of our money in this one push where it's something responsible and, again, not just selling stuff. Not that there's anything wrong if you guys have to sell things, I get it, but we all know that that's a pain. And then you got to deliver it, more trouble. 100% of the fans. Okay, so what we're doing this year specifically is going around to the different areas. In the past, we've gone to Smith Plantation, we've gone to Mimosa, Drake House, Chattahoochee River, all those things that are listed up there. We've done some of that cleanup, pulling weeds, just putting the kids out there, putting them to work. This year, we're going to be working with the parks through the city, working with the parks that are listed up there, actually. And just basic cleanup stuff, again, pulling weeds, picking up trash, those kinds of things. Again, it got kind of hard last year developing partners because you couldn't go and be part of groups and everything. So we're starting over a little bit with the parks, which I think will be great for both the community and for our kids. Basically, the money goes to different things like technicians. We have the 2 band directors, yes, but we have other people that work with the percussion, with the different instruments, specific people that work with those, specific people that work with a marching band or with the concert band, with the symphonic band, all those things. We have technicians that come in. We have technical responsibilities with all the stuff we need to make things happen, right? We build the props. We have travel expenses. All the equipment that we have has to be maintained. We all know our kids tear everything up, so all that stuff has to be fixed regularly. So that's basically just what the money goes to. And I think basically that's about what I wanted to tell you guys about the stuff. The pictures up there of the kids working, I mean, it's just good to see that the kids have a community. I can't stress enough, my daughter, and if you've ever been to any of the band meetings, you hear how their community, when they get into high school, it's their family. It becomes a part of who they are. It's Roswell Hornets all the way, and I think you said earlier you still bleed green from your Roswellness. So this is just an idea of some of the community that we have in our band, and it promotes that as well. It promotes within the band itself. So I promise not to go into any more detail, but you guys can support us by donating personally. You can put it in your social media stuff. You could promote it as, I don't know how exactly, honestly, that's not my thing. I cut grass for a living. I don't do promotion stuff. Most everything is word of mouth for me. So, but that's another big part about it, is talking about it in the community and sharing things with other people. Maybe you guys know businesses, or maybe you guys have some businesses that you'd like to support. There are opportunities for sponsorships and all that kind of stuff that are out there. So please support the Roswell Band. Thank you again for the time. Thank you for all you guys do. And have a great night.
Thank you, Craig Bond from the Roswell High School Band Booster Association, for being with us tonight and sharing this with us about the Roswell High School Booster Band. Thank you, Craig. Item 4 on the mayor's report is approval of Design Review Board reappointment. Chris Finke, do I have a motion?
So move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any comment or discussion from council? There being no comment from council, all in favor, please raise your hand. The reappointment of Chris Finke to the Design Review Board is unanimous. Thank you, council. Item number 5 on the mayor's report is an ad hoc item. It's me just wanting to share with you something that will be up by the end of the week, and it is the Marin City Council's 100-day plan. So I'll put it here, but the next time you come into a city council meeting 2 weeks from now, you will see on this wall a very large 100-day plan board with a checkbox with of the 11 items that the Marin City Council presented on January 24th to be executed by May the 3rd. By the end of the week, the website will be up, which was roswellgov.com/100-day plan. It's not up now, so if you go there, it's not ready, but it will be ready by the end of the week. If you come into City Hall, you will see it in the rotunda. You will be up in all of the departments. So just wanted to share with you that the 100-day plan is actively being worked on, and we recognize that it's going to be fully transparent and that we are fully accountable for delivering it to you. So item 5 is something I just want to make you aware of. The 100-day plan in living color will be up for all to see, and the website will be up for the end of the week. That is it for the mayor's report tonight. Next is the consent agenda. One item I want to explain on item number 12 before I get to the consent agenda. I just want to give a specific criteria of some language change on item number 12 on the consent agenda. I will read it accordingly. Currently, it says approval of an intergovernmental agreement, IGA, between the City of Milton and the City of Roswell regarding fire apparatus fueling services. And that's the end. It needs to say that current sentence and add the following: and waiver of conflict for Gerard and Davis. That will be part of item number 12 on the consent agenda. I can also tell you on the consent agenda, it's been requested to pull consent item number 16 off consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda with the removal of item number 16?
So would there be, is there the opportunity for public comment either before or after that motion second?
There is. This, forgive me, Councilmember Palermo, this is the motion to approve the consent agenda. Let me restate this. Do I have a motion to remove item number 16 off the consent agenda? So moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comment about removing item 16 off the consent agenda? All in favor of removing item number 16 off the consent agenda? Yes, sir, Palermo. All in favor, please raise your hand. Thank you. It's unanimous. Item number 16 is removed off the consent agenda. We will now discuss item 16 under the regular agenda.
Director Leatherman, would you please come forward for this presentation? Oh, what?
Yeah, read the item, item 16.
The item is for the approval of the budget amendment 3506-200-02-28-2022 for the Recreation and Parks Maintenance Program in the amount of $18,380.
Mayor and Council, thank you so much for removing item 16 from the consent agenda. It's honestly probably rare that a department requests something be removed from the consent agenda, but this is an opportunity for us to celebrate our booster clubs, and I appreciate your flexibility in allowing us to do so. And I want to invite our Booster Club representatives who are here tonight to join me for this presentation, which is a donation to our community. We have Rob Lodwick from the Roswell Soccer Club, Terry Copey from the Boys Gymnastics, Laura Bunnerek from the Girls Gymnastics, Matt Maurer from the Youth Baseball, as well as Cliff Dittmore from the Youth Baseball program. If you guys would join me up here. As they come up, just wanted to provide a couple of comments that truly we are so blessed to have booster clubs who support all of our organizations, especially our athletic programs. And just a couple of stats is that these men and women represent hundreds of volunteers, thousands of hours of dedication in our youth to our community. Some of the stats for 2021 is that we supported and registered 11,100 participants in our athletic programs, 3,777 participants in our gymnastics program, for a combined total of 14,877 registered participants. We're truly grateful, as you see in your packet, that we have 3 different donations: $5,000 from the soccer, $5,000 from baseball, and $8,380 combined from the Boys and Girls Gymnastics program to support fencing and the blue floor in our physical activities center. I want to express my gratitude for each of the individuals individually and collectively for all that they provide. Wanted to provide them an opportunity just to introduce themselves to you all. And of course, we have the big check, so that's important. And so we wanted to take an opportunity to have a photo with you when we do that. So thank you very much again for the latitude of pulling this item. All right, who wants to go first? Ladies?
Hi, I'm Terry Copey, representing the men's gymnastics program here in Roswell, which we have an outstanding depth of talent to include Olympians and athletes on the national stage, so it's really impressive. Thank you.
I'm Laura Benarek, president of the Girls Gymnastics Booster Club, and we have about 110 competitive gymnasts, and 3, I think is what it is, competing right now in college, and with more to come. We have about 15 level 10 gymnasts, which is as high as you can go, which a lot of them are looking to be collegiate gymnasts. So any help and everything that you give to us is we really appreciate. It's a fantastic program, and so thank you.
Did you say 15 level 10 gymnasts?
Yes.
That's incredible.
My name is Matthew Maurer, and I am the Roswell Youth Baseball President. Most of you probably gotten emails from me over the last couple weeks. And I appreciate all you guys that are volunteering to come out. Opening day is going to be great. Go ahead.
Get your arms loose. Cliff Ditmore, I'm past president of RYBA. Yeah, we've got hundreds of kids, age groups from 4U all the way up to through 16U. Season's just getting started. Opening day is this weekend.
And to Mr. Letterman's point, our 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 7-year-old, and 8-year-old leagues are far and away bigger than they have ever been. And it's great. All the other age groups are growing as well, but it's good to see. So.
Hi, my name is Rob Ludwig. I'm with the Roswell Soccer Club. I appreciate you guys giving us the time tonight. We have had a huge partnership with the city and the Parks and Rec Department for several years. We've grown really tremendously, particularly over the past 10 years. So our competitive program, I think, has over doubled in size, about 750 players in our competitive leagues. And then that's in addition to our recreational programs, which is down around, a couple thousand kids across the program. So have been growing and competitive over the past couple years, even more so, and had a national finalist that went out through Colorado this summer, several state champions. This fall we had several regional champions across our girls and our boys leagues. So very, very proud of what we've been able to do, and we couldn't have done it without the partnership with the city. So thank you guys for all of your support, and we look for many years to come in terms of partnership. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. Just a comment, as a dad who has spent 20-plus years, you guys are amazing. You do a fantastic job and do a great job with the kids. Thank you for all you do. We're going to come join you, Jeff.
Yeah, please do. Yeah.
But we can't. If you want to, we can.
You, sir, in the blue shirt, can you step back in the back row? Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming. Sir? Thanks.
Thank you guys for coming.
Yeah, congratulations.
Council, stay down. Yes, thank you. Roswell High School. Oh my gosh, look at this. Hold that up there too. So we're going to do yeah, we should. Oh, other side? You like it up there better, don't you?
Did 3 in case there's lots, of course.
Councilmember Morthland, would you like to make a motion on item number 16?
Mayor Wilson, I'd like to motion that we put forward the approval for the budget amendment. Would you like to read the whole thing over again?
Yes, sir, please.
All right. Approval for the budget amendment 3506200-202-28-2022 for the Recreation and Parks Maintenance Program in the amount of $18,380.
Do I have a motion? Second. Thank you. Seconded. Any comment from council? Thank you. All in favor, please raise your hands. It's unanimous. Thank you. The motion passes. Thank you, Councilmember Northland. Thank you, Department Head Leatherman. Thank you, sir. Let's go back to the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda with the removal of item number 16 and the additional language of item number 12 as stated?
Motion to approve.
I'm sorry. Any comments from council? Any public comments on the consent agenda with the removal, excluding the removal of item number 16 and the additional language of item number 12? If there are no comments, do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Councilmember Hill. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Palermo. All in favor, please raise your hands. Well, Bandstrom, sorry. You guys look just alike. It is unanimous. The consent agenda passes for this evening. Thank you. Now we're to the regular agenda. Councilmember Palermo. Oh, sorry. Wait, come on.
Item number 19, approval of a text amendment to Chapter 21, adding a new Article 21.5, utility accommodations and rights of way to the City of Roswell Code of Ordinances. This is the first reading. Mr. Skelski?
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Mr. Skowski, let me interrupt you. Let Mr. Davidson read it, please, on the first reading. I apologize.
Thank you, Mayor. This is an ordinance to amend Chapter 21, adding a new Article 21.5, utility accommodations and right-of-way to the City of Roswell Code of Ordinances, which includes adopting the Georgia Department of Transportation Utility Accommodation, Utility Policy, and Standards Manual for Transportation Projects. Now therefore be it ordained that the Mayor and Council of the City of Roswell hereby amends the Code of Ordinances of Roswell, Chapter 21, adding a new Article 21.5, utility accommodations and right-of-way to read as follows, text of which is incorporated herein by reference, and if approved, this will be the first reading.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. As we discussed in committee and for the benefit of the audience here, a couple of brief points about why we're doing this. Utility coordination during construction is very tricky and complicated, and it's been identified as a major complication for most transportation jobs in particular across the state of Georgia for the last decade at least. Anybody who's put in a garden or decided to put a trench in their backyard realizes how tricky call before you dig can be and what you can find if you're not careful. That's amplified on transportation projects, and in response to that, the Georgia Department of Transportation developed a utility accommodation manual, which we would propose to adopt as the local authority here in the city of Roswell. And I'd just like to read one statement, which I think is important, and that is that the purpose of this manual is to establish and prescribe uniform policies and standards for accommodation of utilities within the right-of-way, to provide a basis for the planning of utility installations, and to establish procedures and controls for issuance of permits. It's simply the best practice for trying to minimize risk on projects, and that translates into avoiding delays and more successful construction. The agreement is been adopted by other municipalities in the metro area. most notably Cobb and Gwinnett County, who we modeled our adoption ordinance after. And it really involves 4 steps: developing work plans to coordinate work, developing agreements to commit those to paper and make sure everybody's bought into it, approvals and time limits for response in that communication process, and then the ability to pursue damages and delay costs if those result from someone not following their part of the agreement. And with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Mr. Skowski. Questions from council? Thank you, Mr. Skowski. Any comments from council? Any public comment on the matter? With that being said, do I have a motion?
Motion to approve item number 19, approval of a text amendment to Chapter 21, adding a new Article 21.5, Utility Accommodations and Rights of Way to the City of Roswell Code of Ordinances.
Thank you, Councilmember Palermo. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Mortland. That being, I have a first and a second. Comments have been made. All in favor, please raise their hands. Have a unanimous vote. The motion passes. Thank you much. Thank you much, Mr. Skowski. Thank you. That concludes our regular agenda for this evening. Now we go to the city attorney's report.
Thank you, Mayor. The first item I have is approval of a resolution to extend the temporary moratorium on the acceptance of ground sign permit applications for all properties within the City of Roswell to update the City of Roswell sign ordinance. As you know, we currently have a temporary moratorium on the acceptance of ground sign permit applications. In November, the Supreme Court heard a case out of Austin, Texas, dealing with off-premise signs and whether that was a content-neutral regulation. The Supreme Court has not ruled on that matter yet, and that will directly affect our sign ordinance one way or the other. The ruling should come out sometime in June. This is a request to extend our moratorium for 125 days. That will get us to June in order to make sure we are in compliance with whatever their ruling is. And I ask for approval.
Thank you, City Attorney. Mr. Davidson, do I have comment from council? Do I have public comment on the matter? Yes, sir. Please state your name and your address in Roswell.
Yes, my name is Kevin Glover. I live at 525 Willow View Way. I actually own Signorama here in Roswell as well. And I just walked in, so I apologize that I'm late. But I heard that you wanted to extend the sign moratorium for another period. Is that correct? So during that time, does that mean that we can't ask for ground sign permits for our customers? Is that kind of the way it's working?
For new ones, you could do panel exchanges and stuff.
Okay. So I have 2 customers currently that I have sign permit applications in with the city, and they've been in for about a month, and they're just on hold until this gets resolved. Do we have an approximate date that this might be resolved?
It'll probably be June.
June.
That's when the Supreme Court ruling should be handed down.
Okay, and this is coming from the Supreme Court?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'm sorry, I'm just not fully aware of what was going on. I know that it is affecting us, and I just wanted to get as much information as I could on what was going on. Is this something that we can speak about? Can I email you or?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Or you can come in and I'll meet with you.
Okay.
Absolutely.
However you want to do it.
Yeah, and thanks for being here and speaking tonight. I mean, that's what this is about.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kevin.
Definitely.
And feel free. I mean, you've got plenty more time. If you want to pick out on one of the council members, please don't pick on me, but I can give you a couple to make your comments directly towards you. Right.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much.
So you have, feel free to email my office as well, in all seriousness, and email Mr. Knighton as well, and Mr. Davidson, the city attorney.
Okay. Do you have any recommendations on how I should handle customers looking for ground signs? Just tell them to be patient and, okay.
Tell them we're
Because-
waiting on a ruling for the Supreme Court of the
From the
United States.
Supreme Court?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Sorry.
Thank you, guys.
Sorry, no, Kevin. Thank you, sir. Appreciate your business, and Signorama is a great business here in Roswell. We thank you for what you do. Any other comment from council? Any other public comment? Forgive me. With that being said, no further comment from our public. Any other comment from council? No comment from council. Do I have a motion to approve item 20?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember Hills. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a first and I have a second. Do I have, all in favor by a show of hands, please raise your hands to approve item number 20. It is unanimous. The item moves forward. Thank you very much. It is approved. Item number 21 on the city attorney's report.
Thank you, Mayor. The next item I have is an approval of the First Amendment to the current site lease agreement between the City of Roswell and NCWPCS MPL 26, a year site tower holdings LLC. It's basically AT&T Wireless and PCS regarding an amendment to the lease and rent increase at Roswell Town Center cell tower site. Basically, 25 years ago, Bell South bought a small piece of property, gave that piece of property to the city in order to then lease it from the city for $100 a month. That 25 years has now come and gone. Our typical ground lease is $2,500 a month now, and they have agreed to up their rent to $2,500 a month with a 3% escalator. It's a 5-year term with 3 additional 5-year renewals, and we recommend approval.
Mr. Davidson, thank you very much. Question of clarity. So you're saying that the existing lease for the last how many years?
25.
The lease for the last 25 years has been $100, and the proposal of this ordinance is, forgive me, this approval of this amendment is that the lease goes to $2,500 per month. Is that correct?
Yes, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Davidson. Any comment from council? Councilmember Hills.
Yes, Mr. Davidson. So we're talking about 3 additional 5-year renewal terms. Is there opportunity to discuss upping the rent, changing the rent, amending the rent as we go to reflect fair market value?
It will automatically go up 3% every year.
Thank you, Councilmember Hills. Council, any other comments or questions? Any public comment on the matter? Sorry, Councilmember Palermo.
Just a comment in this, that's where there's the, how many additional terms is it? 3 potentially? 3, and that's where I believe their original, are we able to discuss what original request might have, is that? So typically, whether it was them or others, they often ask for 4, I believe, sometimes even more. So this does represent a reduction from a typical request to give more leverage after 3 terms, in addition to the price increase and the 3% increase. So I'll certainly be supporting this tonight.
Thank you, Councilmember Palermo. Any other comments from council? That being said, any public comments on the matter? With that being said, no public comments. Comments are done from the council. All in favor, please. Sorry. Oh, yeah, we need a motion. Sorry. Do I have a motion to approve item number 21? Councilmember Vanstrom.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Councilmember Hall, thank you. Hills. All right. All in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. The motion is passed unanimously. Thank you.
The only other item I have, Mayor, is recommendation for closure to discuss personnel litigation and real estate.
Do I have a motion to go to closure?
Motion to recommend, motion to go to closure?
I have a motion to go to closure. Do I have a second for closure?
Second.
I have a second for closure. All in favor of going to closure, please raise your hands. The motion passes unanimously. This session is adjourned as we go to closure. Thank you.